Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast Instant Match Reaction. Fulham 1, Everton 3. Yes, you are. You don't need pinching. That's right. You heard it right. Everton 3. And I did see in the comments, Pooter, who I was thinking during the game, Pooter did say that I was in fairyland for going 4-2. And I'm not going to lie, with 10 minutes to spare at 3-1, I was thinking it could be 4-2. I wasn't a million miles away, especially with a weakened team as well and our better players coming on late. I think I can be forgiven with that prediction, to be fair. Paul, talk to me after that. What a game, kind of.
Brilliant game. Brilliant game. Yeah, it was. First half, I mean, we were awful, but we still went in having scored as well. And I mean, how did everyone feel when they saw the lineup? You know, there might be a few of us backtracking at some point, but we were pretty poor. Any time that we went over the halfway line, we couldn't stick. Just touches were bad and everything else. Thankfully, he grabbed him by the scruff of the neck at half time and gave him a kick up the arse. Managed to do okay for that little bit. We weren't prolific or anything, but he made substitutions that paid off. You know, McNeil corner. Hey, some nice corners today. Young and McNeil taking corners and delivering them well. And Alcaraz, albeit a little bit fortuitous, assists Beto. So, you know, the changes helped and we won away, you know, again.
And someone mentioned this when you wasn't actually on the channel, when Luke was on, when you couldn't get on. And that Beto forfeit he must have accomplished that, Paul, with his goals.
Must have now, I think. I think he probably has now. To be fair. Maybe just
so let us know in the comments what you want Paul to be dressed as, and I'll try and get him an outfit dressed as that, and he can do the channels dressed as that. So I'll get the outfit. You let me know what outfit you want me to order him and send in his house, and he can be dressed as anything. So make sure it's a decent one, people. Let me know what you want him to be dressed in on the show for his forfeit. I think that'd be a good one. Or if you've got a better forfeit, let me know. But I just think that'd be quite funny. But Beto's definitely done Paul in. We're going to go through the goals. We want your reaction. Get in the comments how you feel after this game. It's instant match reaction, people. Of course, you want to tell us how you feel. We've just won 3-1. We're going to go through the goals. We're going to try and break bits and bobs down, as we always do. Have about 40, 50 minutes of talking Everton about stuff, and then we'll finish the show. So, Paul, like you just mentioned, the way that we started, I was really peed off, you know, because I was thinking like flat. I don't know if you agree. Like the game was really flat, and I don't think we was like trying. Yeah, I was the same. The lineup I was really peed off from. So we had the combination of I wasn't happy with the lineup. I wasn't happy Michael Keane was playing, but I was behind him 110%. I was like, please just prove me wrong this game or whatever. I don't want to keep you, but I do want you to play well. That's just how I was. I'm sorry if it's harsh by me, but that's how I was. I was just like, take your boots off and actually wear your football boots. Take the waders off and wear the football boots. But no, I'll always be behind whoever plays in that top. Doesn't mean I think they're going to be for a future, but I'll always be behind whoever puts that badge on, puts that shirt on. And I was behind us today because I feel with us having Russ on the channel, you could see how much the Fulham needed this game. And I like a challenge of playing someone when they want to beat you really bad. And for me, it sets us up for next season, Paul, because I think next season, if we're looking to be a good football team, taking on a Fulham now that need to win so badly, you can find out how you're going to be next season. And with a weakened squad, it took us a while to get into the game, but we really did grow into the game. Like you said, second half. I mean, the Mikalenko goal, I don't think we deserved it. And I think it was a blessing in disguise to be going in, to be going in 1-1 at half time. I was just like, oh my God, it felt like it was your birthday when it wasn't your birthday when you got given that. But we've got a bit of stuff to chuck on the screen. Let's have a look what we've got. See what we can rustle up. The
Yeah.
first goal, that's what we're going to
Go
talk
on.
about first. The first
Go
goal. I
for
think
it.
we just got who scored it, basically. Talk to me about the first goal, Paul.
Well, half time was
Oh,
well
yeah.
approaching, to be fair.
Here he is.
So
First goal.
we held them off. They got down the channels a little bit and got crosses in. I thought back four played well. You gotta give it to Keane and Young. Slotted in all right, I thought. Um, I think they stopped them from getting to the byline, getting past them. They allowed maybe crosses to come in, just like the goal. But generally, the back four played well. It was just that they got the run. They got the run on Mikolenko. Or he got the run on Mikolenko at the far post. You could maybe have a go at Mikolenko for not being strong enough. It's difficult from that position when you got a tall, strong striker sort of running up behind you to then plant a header. And he's a cracking header of the ball. You can maybe have a moan about Branthwaite, maybe not being further over and stuff like that. But they were in the ascendancy, Fulham, and it was a matter of time. I thought that they were actually going to get a good chance, and they did, and they scored.
Yeah, I feel they were at the start of the game. They was miles the better team, and I was really disappointed in us. And I could see them scoring. Iwobi had a couple of shots on target. We wasn't closing them down. We wasn't into them. There was having shots, and for me, the way the game started, they was the more comfortable team, and I felt like it was only a matter of time before we conceded, Paul. And it was probably something that we needed to wake up because there was just so sluggish. There was no dogs of war fight for you, was it? It was really sluggish the way we come out. We don't normally come
Yeah,
out like that, so it was disappointing the way we come out and made it easy for Fulham.
yeah, and off the pace as well. And I think that's why in
Yeah,
the first
exactly.
half, Alcaraz looked so good. Because he was proper. He was, if anything, if there was any kind of press, it was coming from Alcaraz. Everyone else was off it, and I felt
Yeah,
Garner in the middle were off it. We weren't pressing them enough. We weren't trying to win the ball back enough. And any time we actually did get the ball and break forward, it broke down in seconds. So yeah, first half was a disappointment, but we got to. I tell you what, if you look back, it was been a bit of a lucky day, really, a lucky game. Mikolenko's shot was going nowhere really, but gets a flick and then flies in right on half time, 3 minutes into injury time, and then we go in. We go in level, but somehow, you know. So rubber the green we had today, which makes a change.
well, the like I say, his goal when you mentioned it, still on the.
Mm.
I'll talk about Mikolenko's now that you just spoke about, but I I had everything. Do you know everything? Not Everton, not everything. Everton. One of our comments, people in the comments, they normally say if he has the run on you, he's always going to win that header. If the attacker's got the
Mm.
run on you, he's always going to beat the defender at that. And I just thought Mikolenko could have done more. And I get told off for saying this because I thought Mikolenko was going down to get fouled than actually putting more of a fight to try and disrupt him. I don't think Mikolenko's going to beat him in the air because he's probably better than him in the air and he had the run. I get that. But personally, I would like Mikolenko to make that as comfortable for him as he can without it being a foul. And if you watch Mikolenko, he backs in and goes down, and you're never going to get Mikolenko. Come on. And
There
I love
wasn't.
Mikolenko.
Yeah, there
I
wasn't
do.
a great deal of backing in. If anything, his
Yeah.
body position wasn't the best.
No.
Someone's got to realize where Fulham's only striker is. At all times. And if he's behind
Yeah.
Mikolenko and then he's running towards Mikolenko, he's got to be able to see both things: the ball coming in from one side and Jimenez coming this side. And that's where you have your clever fullbacks. That's where, if it was say it was Ashley Young, what he would have done is he wouldn't have gone up for the header. He would have gone and pushed Jimenez or made contact with Jimenez before the ball even sort of came in. Do you know what I mean? It's little sly tricks like that maybe Mikolenko hasn't learned yet. You know.
You got a picture of Miko after that. We got more, like, obviously that was the first goal. I feel Mikalenko was a bit of. I didn't like how easy the cross come in. I think we let the cross come in
Mm,
so easy. There was dangerous down their left, which we called out on the pre-match. We said there would be, but I think yes, we said we'd be poor on our right hand side and they'd be good on their left hand side. But I would like for us to have been better. Personally, I don't like that cross coming in so
mm.
easy. I don't like Mikalenko not challenging. I think Branthwaite would have been better to have moved back a little bit and got on that striker and Mikalenko pulled across. I don't think if Branthwaite was there, Jimenez would have won the header personally. I think sometimes you've got to look at each other and make sure that you've got the bigger man on the striker. I know that sounds stupid, but generally, when you've got two players on one pool, you can put your bigger man on the striker, can't you? And just let Miko
Yeah.
push across. Bradthwaite was like in between. He had nothing to do, so he kind of thought, "Oh, I wish I could get there, but I'm not going to because Miko's there." So sometimes I'd like us just to organise that a little bit better, to always make sure it's Branthwaite or Keane or O'Brien heading those balls. So disappointed in the first goal. And I think Mikalenko, you could see he felt a little bit of fault for it, didn't he, Paul? Because he's gone down. He's got beat by the header. You feel like that's your fault that they've scored. So
Yeah.
what does Mikalenko go and do, Paul? He goes and steps up, doesn't he, and scores an absolute world. He probably, would you say it's the best goal we've seen all season?
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Trying to think where the picture
Yeah.
is. Where's the picture of Miko?
Very,
You got a picture,
very much the against the run of play kind of goal. They must have been frustrated. But you know what, as well though, even though Fulham pressed us and obviously they got the first goal and things, their other two shots that I can properly remember, or the most dangerous parts of their first half, were shots from outside the area. Wolby had a shot, went straight into Jordan's hand. Yeah. Wilson had one as well. So, you know, I thought we defended well. They weren't great for them. They'll be disappointed that they didn't get a second, and because of those, half chances that they didn't take, then we've somehow managed to stay in it. It could have been a lot worse at half time.
Is he sucking his thumb there, Paul, on the picture that you just put?
He might well be. Well, either or he's punching the air, but you can't see his mouth.
I think he's sucking his thumb. You know what I mean? Probably calling them babies. I don't know. But I was really happy for Mikalenko, actually, because I was thinking to myself, in this match reaction, I'm going to call out Mikalenko for being poor this game when he's been good other games. So I was ready to start calling Mikalenko out. I wasn't happy with the way he started the game. And I think this is when he woke up. I think he knew he needed to do something to make up for the goal. And he got a bit of luck, but he got himself up there. It was a nice knockdown. Was the knockdown from Decore? It was, wasn't it? Yeah, Decore knockdown in the box into Mikalenko's feet. Goalkeeper, I don't know what he was doing. He seemed to curl up in a ball in the middle of the goal.
Yeah, I mean, he must have been thinking Mikalenko's shot was going to get through what seemed all 22 players, but it hit the first man and then skewed into the corner. So yeah, Leno had a bad day at the office, didn't he? Really, we'll sort of mention
in the
that
commentary
later.
call, they acted like he had no chance because of the deflection. But I thought, you know what? He's not even gone each side of the goal. He's in the middle of the goal and curled up in a ball. And I thought to myself, normally when a keeper misreads it and the deflection gets them, they go the other side of the goal. But his footing, his footing was completely wrong, where the goalkeeper couldn't go left or right. Get him.
Hold on, Chris.
Chris Chess. I love it when people get the score prediction right. Well done.
Hey, we nearly had the 4-1. We nearly had the holy 4-1.
Yeah, I was thinking Eugene. You did Everton to win though, didn't you, Paul?
Maybe not. No.
I
wasn't the only one.
He pooped it. He pooped
plenty of us out there. We're all there. There we are. Yeah,
we know you in the comments went draw. You know what I mean? Look at the bum old little. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hey, well, at half time, I thought it was nailed. I didn't think we would come out second half. I didn't think we'd come out second half and do what we did. So fair play.
Well, I knew that we had some good players to come on. That's one thing I will say. I knew with the way the first half was, I know that they was better. I know that we wasn't that good, but I did see mistakes in them, Paul. Like even when we scored to go 1-1, I thought, you know what? This Fulham
Yeah.
team's gettable because they lost the ball in dangerous positions a couple of times where we was going and we just couldn't get the ball through, could we? We couldn't feed Beto right. And there was a
Yeah.
lot of times that first half where we turned it over, but then we couldn't do the right things when we turned it over. So I did feel when we got it 1-1 at half time, I thought to myself, McNeil's come on and Jai to come on. And this Fulham team looking like they've got a lot of mistakes. And I did feel like we was going to win this game. I really did. Did you?
Yeah.
People in the comments let us know. How did you feel at half time, Paul? You just said you felt like we'd draw.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It
Yeah.
did. Second, like half time and the substitution in the second half obviously made the difference. Fulham were quite confident about having lads who would in defence who would bring the ball out. Bassey did it a few times. I mean, one of the key things I think today, going off what Russ was saying last night, is that Robinson was injured and he had Robinson to play left back. He also said that Sessegnon would probably be the one to look out for in attack.
And they played him left back.
Because he can, he can fire a shot in and he can get down the line. But they put him at left back, which obviously stifled their left hand side a little bit. And Iwobi was the one who took over that position. So there were a couple of things in Fulham's lineup that I think helped us definitely, and stifled them. But we had our own problems, because obviously O'Brien was injured, which we didn't know beforehand, and maybe David knew yesterday in the press conference, but kept it to himself.
He definitely knew the little shitbag, didn't he? I mean, I don't blame him, though, because you don't want to show people your cards.
Yeah, exactly. And so Keggers comes in.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time that you said that because we go in at 1-1, we come out, we look decent, and of course he's going to. We all knew. I could say that 90% of us probably absolutely felt like crying when we seen him in the lineup. But you knew he'd probably score. That's the weird thing about him. If he's defending, you shit your pants. But if he's in the box, he does, especially when you don't want him to play, he does pop up with these goals, doesn't he? Look at him. He looks like Superman there, doesn't he? No, do you know what? Fair play. It's a big goal again, wasn't it? He does score big goals, and I don't want him for Everton for our future. But I tell you something, well done, fair play. Played when you put that shirt on, play well for us, and I won't criticise you. And I think he did decent today, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a good game. He was solid. He did pretty much what you would want Jake O'Brien to have done today. Got lots of headers away, generally fairly calm on the ball, no mistakes, up for corners, obviously got a goal. Huge, really, absolutely massive.
Well, when the thing is, I thought it was on top when we come out second half. It's just about getting that goal to make it 2-1 because they needed to win and it would be a mountain to climb from. So you knew away the next goal, the Fulham crowd would go quiet and it would be massive for us. And then obviously Keane pops in that goal. But that goal was what, 69 minutes, 34 seconds? We had a couple of chances before it. 69 minutes, 34 seconds. And then it's 69 to 73. Really quick goal after as well. So what I'm basically saying is the confidence and momentum that Keane goal gave us, Paul, we just cracked on. And that's what I want to see us do. That's what's frustrated me when we've been 2-0 sometimes if we sat back. But this game, for some reason, because it's probably just the 2-0 curse, because the 2-0 curse had gone, we actually went on and looked better after getting the 2-1 lead.
Key moments and key substitutions. I mean, it's if you think about what happened in the build up to be able to get that corner, and also to for the lead up and everything else for Beto for the third. You're talking Alcaraz was involved far more. You've got McNeil on the pitch as well, and Jai had come on and started giving the ball at the right times. Because the other times, as we've often said, is that I posted on I think I posted on X and everything else. You'd think Decore and Beto, having played so much together in those forward roles, would have some sort of link, chemistry, awareness of what each other was doing. But both had occasions where they didn't even look to see where the other one was before they gave the ball, and it was nowhere near them. So, someone replied to that actually, and made a fair point in the fact that if Beto had a little bit more, decent service, then he could maybe barge his way forward and do something, which he did. So obviously Alcaraz gave him that ball, a little bit fortuitous that it got a slight deflection off their centre back, and it just fell nicely for Beto. But having those more creative players on the pitch made a massive difference. Absolute massive difference.
I think like you look at the ball, and the ball, like you say, was fortunate to go through to Beto. It was a little bit, it went into his feet, but the difference is what we're crying out for is just make the forward pass quick. You've got to catch the other team off guard. And I think when they're going backwards, the pass wasn't that good, but because Anderson and Thingy was running backwards scared, you're just going to force mistakes by putting the pass into dangerous areas. And I think that's what happened. You can force a defender into a mistake, Paul. And Alcaraz, he does play that pass forward. He really does. There was a moment where Alcaraz put a pass into Mykolenko, and Mykolenko had to bomb it forward just to get on the end of it. Alcaraz likes putting the ball fast and in front of you, and I like that. I think we've needed that because a lot of
fizz it in, fizz it in,
move it forward. And I think Decore sometimes, if he didn't think he could get that ball through to Beto, Decore probably would have turned around and moved it out wide or back again. But Alcaraz, he didn't care whether he could get it through or not. He knew that he could put Beto in a dangerous position and put him one-on-one with the centre-back. And I think that was massive. And fair play to Beto, I mean, I know the keeper, poor save, but Beto's got to do what he did to score. And he keeps his composure. He's strong. He makes the good run. He angles himself up, how he scored a lot of his goals this season. And I just want to say, I really love Beto. I really do. There's not a footballer on this planet that I want to succeed more than Beto. Like, it's weird with Beto because he's not the complete player with everything where he does little things wrong sometimes. I get it. But how many goals would Beto score if he was backed all season, Paul? Like, seriously, how many goals would he score in this Everton squad if he was backed all season? Because what's he on now? He's on about 7, 8, 9 or something.
He must be on 8. I think he's on 8. I think he's on 8. I think he was on 6 before the Ipswich game.
8 goals.
Yeah, let me know, because don't take it as gospel.
That's not bad though, is it, for a striker that's been pushed out by Sean Dyche, not backed all season? I don't think Calvert-Lewin scored it. What's the most Calvert-Lewin scored in the last 3 seasons? He hasn't even scored 8 in the last 3 seasons, has he, Calvert-Lewin?
He hasn't had a great run since Ancelotti, really, has he? A lot of that has been through injury as well.
Just
Tells right. Our predictions were. You say way off. You say way off. We won by 2. That's what Dan said. So yeah, exactly.
Poor predictions by a lot of you drawers, mate. A lot of you drawers in the comments. You bottled it. I'm not going to beat you around the bush here, right? And be nice like Paul is. You bottled it, Paul, and you drawers bottled it, right? Because we are the famous EFC, mate, and we fight for all of might. Don't you ever forget that. Don't care how shit that team is on paper. We're Everton Football Club, mate. And today, did you hear the crowd going as well, Paul? The fans was insane today, weren't they? Shout out to the fans that travelled.
You know what?
Insane. Yeah, it sounded like we was home.
Dead right. And I have, where are you? Maybe that was the picture that. Oh, no, there you go. All the way through, absolutely all the way through, and especially at the end when we had the ball down in that corner.
Singing David Moyes,
they're proper made up,
and we don't care.
Made up. And you never know. There might be there might even be one or two watching this now. So well done today. You absolutely did us all proud. So and there's actually been quite a few Fulham comments online as well about Everton being the best fans this season at Craven Cottage and everything else. It's definitely the case. Look at that. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it was just the atmosphere sounded absolutely incredible. It was insane. And I loved what a game. The singing David Moyes song, singing the other song. I felt like this was the game I was expecting last game when we went 2-0 up, Paul. I was expecting to get this nice feeling that we just won and won easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels good
Well,
to have that sort of win.
It's not like us to sort of come back, really. You know, we don't very often go a goal down and then come back to win at all.
I'll get some of the videos and put it up on shorts because I'm pretty sure there'll be some decent ones of the fans going mad this game.
Oh, there will be. There will be. I mean, if you think it's a full mood tonight or something or other, but you've got Mikalenko deflected goal. You've got lads who came in, young, keen, for example, having very decent games when we needed them to. We had Keane on the score sheet, so obviously something's in the air. And you had not one, but 2 VAR calls going our way. So they looked constantly at Keane's goal because the corner comes over from McNeil. Alcaraz is stood and leaning a bit into Leno, but not enough to cause a bloody problem. They looked at that for ages and ages, and then when they decided that it wasn't no push or anything, they then started looking at offside as well. It must have felt longer in the stadium. It felt ages watching on the screen.
I honestly did. I thought there wasn't going to give that. I thought there was VAR was going to cancel the goal. I did. Because I thought they'd say they even looked at Alcaraz offside after whether Alcaraz was offside around the goalkeeper. So first of all they looked whether Alcaraz fouled him. Then after they looked to see if Alcaraz was offside. But if he didn't foul him, does it matter if he was offside? Doesn't make. Then they would have said he was like in the keeper's vision. Instead of dressing Paul up, you should have it's a haunted door. Yeah, well, we'll do that as well, people. We will do that as well. We'll think get it in the comments. We'll think of some forfeit for Paul. Of course, we will. If you've got anything better than an outfit, then we'll sort it out. But, the Beto finished great goal, 3-1. Then they had this Mikalenko handball. I thought that was going to be given you the Mikalenko handball. I'm not saying it was handball because it's ridiculous this handball rule nowadays.
Yeah.
I actually thought they was going to give that. Did you? Fair play to the referee. I think that's the first time all season we've ever had a decision where you thought referee standing his ground to actually go with Everton. What the?
Yeah.
What the,
it's actually only the second time since they brought VAR in that I've seen a referee say, no, my decision was correct.
You think he's called over and he has to say he has to go with them when he's called over. But I love that when he went over, he watched it and said to VAR, like basically, I'm not saying this referee was good, by the way. I thought he made some mistakes first half, but I love that he went over there and he said, no, I'm not, even more confirmation that my decision's right. He's not deliberately handballed that. And I think that's decent. And I do believe that VAR said to give it. And I think he went over.
Oh, yeah. Well, if anything, when you were watching him, it almost looked as though he was having like not an argument, but he was sort of responding quite firmly. Do you know what I mean? So it's a shock, an absolute shock that's happened, but it has. So we've got to enjoy it while we can. You know.
Do you know what? It hurts me though that we didn't have David Moyes all season. You know, because I honestly do believe if we had David Moyes all season, Paul, we could have had a good season. To be fit, like I think we'll finish probably 13th this season. And you look at Fulham trying to get that. Europa League spot. I feel if we was in contention for that Europa League spot, you watching how we just beat Fulham with a weakened team, I think we could have pushed on and done it, you know. This game was a big game where I feel we could have stepped up. I'm ashamed that we wasn't in Fulham's position because I think that we did better than Fulham in that position.
No, I agree, but I mean, sometimes you need to go through a dark day to appreciate the good ones, really, and we've had plenty of those. But I think we literally had exhausted everything that Dyche could give us. Literally exhausted everything. So David came in at the right time, and fair play to well, no, I won't even say their name, to be fair. I'm glad that we got Moyes, and it was a good time to actually do it, because there's lots of people, non-Everton media people that were saying, "Oh, I shouldn't go back," and all this sort of stuff, and why are you gone for Moyes? You've gone like for like, blah blah blah, and I'm not saying it's always going to be perfect with Moyes. It's never perfect all the time with any manager, and you are going to have people who are never going to be a fan, same as any manager at any club. But he's done as a decent job now, and we should be happy with what we've got at the moment, because it's nice to look forward instead of looking down underneath you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know if you've just seen two Daniels on the screen. I was actually doing something. I am going to drop a big forfeit soon for Paul, but because Beto's gone way over what Paul said, he's gone way over what Paul said. I feel there's got to be a forfeit now. There's got to be a forfeit now. He's still going to score more. There's got to be a forfeit now, and there's got to be a forfeit later on, people. So I have got a forfeit now for him, because I've just literally put something in on the channel. So Paul, you will do 2 forfeits, because I would if I got it wrong. I know you will. So can you see this? Can you sing the Dirty Dancing song till the end, mate? Just got it quick. I just got the Dirty Dance. So I had the time. Right, go on then, Paul. Right. Are you ready, people? Paul,
he goes to the just remember, you're the one thing I can't get enough of. So I'll tell you something. This could be love, because Michael Keane is the best we've ever had. No, I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's the truth. And I'll score 2 for you. There you go.
That is one forfeit completed by Paul. This is why we love the Topping Foodcast, people. That is one forfeit completed for Paul saying Beto couldn't score this amount, and we will get an outfit for him on the next one, because we go big on forfeits. Everyone loves the forfeit. You was quite good then, Paul. Proud of you, mate. Smash that.
Cheers. Thanks for that. Yeah, no more forfeits needed.
Now you got to rate Beto. All you can ask for a striker is to score goals, and he is doing that. And I feel sometimes because his goals, because some people ain't that fond of Beto still, he's scoring goals and people still ain't sure. But talk to me on this Beto situation, Paul. It's crazy because he's scoring goals. What do we want? Let us know in the comments. Would you keep Beto? Like that's a good thing for people in the comments, isn't it? Would you keep Beto, or would you sell him if a team come in for him? Let us know in the comments. Would we be moving on a striker that's given us what we need without even much service?
Well, I mean, you think... I was saying this before to me, Dad, is that we've got 13 people out of contract, and we're also talking about getting rid of 1 or 2 people who are already on a contract. So you can't get rid of everyone. So if you presume Broyer will go. I mean, he didn't even use Broyer today to have the opportunity to come on later. So you'd imagine Broyer go back to Chelsea. You got Schmidt, you got DCL, you got Beto. So you'd imagine then that at least one of those is going to go, and you would bring another striker in. Do you know what I mean? So Schmidt won't go anywhere unless it's on loan somewhere. So you'd have to get rid of either Beto or DCL because you would bring in another striker. So who would you get rid of? Would you get rid of DCL? Would you get rid of Beto? If you look at goals and playing and avoiding injury and everything else, there'd probably be far more people who would shout for Beto than DCL. Who's the better footballer? You know, better control and everything else. You'd probably say DCL, but he lacks what Beto has for determination and going forward. So it's very much up for grabs, to be honest. You just want whoever comes in to be better than both and to be that main striker. Beto won't go anywhere if he's going to be a backup. I think he'll still stay.
Because Beto, a lot of people, it's weird because Beto's scoring goals but he's missed a few. And people don't speak highly of him. When Russ was on the pre-match, he was like, Beto's poor. And I said to Russ, I said, he's not. He'll give you centre-backs. It'll be a handful for your centre-backs. And he can score goals. And then after the show, Russ went like, oh, maybe he ain't that bad then. Maybe I've got to watch out for him. And then I think Russ, after this game, is probably thinking, I thought Beto wasn't that good, but he is a handful. And people will change their minds on him because he does the job. He fights for you, but he knocked Bassi about a lot. I thought Beto got fouled a lot today, by the way, and we didn't get the free kicks. That Anderson went into him a couple of times. And I think the referee first half, there was a couple of fouls on Beto where we didn't get the free kicks. And I just like him. It's interesting. What have we got in the comments?
Yeah,
what do they think?
Yeah, he did get badged around a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Beto to stay if you're going to have a choice between the two. Scar says keep Beto, ideally get another striker, compete with him, get rid of DCL, Broja, go. Schmidt, maybe we don't know enough about him because he's not really playing. I think the space is up for grabs, but you need consistency, don't you? And you need service. And I think with the lads who've been playing the last few games at Manil and Alcaraz, I think you've got more opportunity to get service. You know, you're not going to have it just having the core in behind Beto. It's not great for either of them.
By the way, people in the comments, keep your comments coming and we'll chuck them on the screen. We do love you all and we love you putting your comments in and stuff. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, giveaways and stuff like that, so we'll treat you. What I was going to say is it feels good like to have had a poor team against a Fulham team that needed to win and still win 3-1. And it really makes you feel good about next season, doesn't it? Because you know that we're going to strengthen up. That we've been told that we're going to spend a bit. And you think to yourself, if our team's like missing bodies and it's this run down, but David Moyes can still get that out of them and beat a team like Fulham that needs to win 3-1, then it really does make me excited about next season. Like I am. It's just a shame we ain't got nothing to play for now, but I did say what we have got to play for now is to show us what we're going to be like next season. We are going to get new players. We are going to get new players.
Well, that's the silver lining of having so many people out who are going out of contract. Do you know what I mean? If they didn't want to stay, you would not have seen them. Probably not even on the bloody bench, to be honest. You know, Harrison was trying hard today. You know what I mean? He wasn't sort of just loafing around, having a couple of touches, and he put a shift in, did Jack? And he's not got a lot of fans, and I do think he's lacking in a few areas, definitely. But you can't deny he gave his all today. And the same with one or two others. Alcaraz wants to stay. You could tell he put a shift in. Beto's never changed. He always wants to do well. And I'm obviously not saying he's out of contract or anything, but he still wants to be there at the club. You can tell that with
his contract. If he plays well. Paul on X on Twitter X. Me and Paul speaking on Twitter X before the game, and he said if Michael Keane plays well, he'll give him a contract.
I think.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I think I put a laughing. I think I did a kind of face to your reply. So I mean,
you
the
just made a
the
good
thing is
point
with
that I
Keane, though.
forgot though.
Thing is with Keane, there's nothing with what we've got at the moment. It's that sort of gamble and catch 22. You know, do you give him a year? Do you give him a year contract, right? And either he say, hang on, hear me out. You give him, if you gave him a year contract and you kept him, who else is the centre backs at the clubs? You'd have to think about who you're going to keep, who's going to go anyway. You know, a good, big shout on what would happen there would be about Branthwaite. We'd love Branthwaite to stay. You know, we do also feel as though that there's a chance that he could easily go to another club who are in Champions League because he's more than capable.
I think we need. I mean, today was worrying because Branthwaite went down, and you think who's going to come on centre back, and then Keane pulled up a little bit injured as well, and you know that you've got to have to probably play. I think Patterson was warming up, so it would have been probably Mikalenko centre back. So you won't be in this situation where all your centre backs are injured like Tarkowski and O'Brien often, but I do think we need a younger kid, Paul, as backup in centre back. Do you know what I mean? In the academy that can come in on the bench and think, wow, I'm going to love this opportunity, because today I was a little bit worried, but I do think we're looking at centre backs, but I don't know whether that's because Branthwaite might leave. That's scaring me. Before I forget this, because you said a good point that triggered it. You were talking about Alcaraz, and there's little things that I think I should have said this on the show. I felt really sorry for Alcaraz because he's absolutely busting his balls in the wrong positions, you know, and it's frustrating me because he's playing left wing and he's not a left winger, and he knows he can be dangerous down the middle. And I know players should be versatile. We've had versatile players, and he's trying to be that. But you just know he could be good in the 10. You know Alcaraz could be good. And he's burning himself out, and he's putting himself about. And I feel the moment he gets into that 10 position, he puts Beto in on goal. And you're thinking to yourself, and you know what it's like, Paul. If you're going from left wing and you're moving to the 10, you can't get into your position as a footballer. I think you just want the same position week in, week out, to just get used to that position, get used to the players, and just thrive in that one position. And I think moving Alcaraz about all the time, he's probably going from left wing, burning himself out, tracking back, to then moving into the 10, looking shit in the 10 because he's burnt out left wing. And I think I don't like that we're mistreating a good player like Alcaraz, who we're looking at saying, will we sign him or will we not sign him? I don't think you can look at it properly, Paul, whether you should sign him or not, because we're not giving him the chance that he probably needs in the right position. Do you get where I'm coming from? So that's frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's done so well, I would say, and I've had to cope with that kind of situation, and also that it would be a reported 18 million. It's a no-brainer for me. You know, I mean, Dyche like utility players, and Moyes is similar in that respect. You know, he loves players who can play in quite a few positions. One of the reasons why I love Phil Neville. You know what I mean? Apart from Neville's great attitude, he could play in quite a few different positions, rightly or wrongly.
They're the two positions he should
10
play
or
in.
an 8, yeah.
They're the two positions.
He's hardly played in those two positions as well. So, and he's still done well. So Alcaraz is a no-brainer.
You can just tell he's not a winger, Paul, because you can see him trying to drift over. You can get away with some players like centre mid. Iwobi was like a one-off. He could play centre mid and a winger, and you still weren't sure which one was his best. But you can tell with Alcaraz, he drifts into the middle. He's not a winger. He just isn't a winger.
I think that helped us today. I think that helped us that he actually did that kind of thing. You know, because then it gave us a bit more.
He didn't get tracked, basically.
A bit more power and creativity going forward in that middle area. So he sort of naturally came inwards quite a few times, and that allowed him to get the ball maybe instead of Decore. And so we created a couple of other chances, which was good. People are saying the same thing. Alcaraz for number 10, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree with them, and I'm glad they're saying the same thing. So Alcaraz was the one topic I wanted to get off my head. The second thing was, this player, I'm normally thinking he doesn't stand out this much, but I think when McNeil come on, he's been fantastic coming back from this injury. He looked really good, didn't he? Like technical good. Like when he was on the corner, I just knew he'd whip a good ball in, Paul. You can tell. I don't know. You can tell in the player, can't you? You can tell when he's on the pitch whether he feels comfortable. And McNeil come on, and he looks like he's. I mentioned it on the pre-match. McNeil looks like he's missed football. He really does look like he's missed playing, and I think he has. He's had that injury. He's not enjoyed being out, and I think he's instead of coming back and tracking back and not enjoying his football, I think he's wanted to play under David Moyes because David Moyes will let him attack more, where Sean Dyche had him defending. And I think McNeil today, look, he had that drive and run down the right hand side, didn't he? Yeah. Where he just bombed it, and I didn't think McNeil was fast, but he bombed it, then cut back, and he doesn't lose the ball that much. And yeah, it was nice to see McNeil come on, and I think that where I was more excited about Njai coming on, Paul. But then when I watched McNeil, I thought, wow, we've got two good wingers coming on here, and it really did help us. It made us stronger when we finished the game. So shout out to McNeil. I think he was decent.
We were, if anything, we were. Our play was very weighted down. I felt down the right hand side. I didn't feel as though we had much going down the left. I always felt as though it kind of went off to the right, and then it would be Keane who would sort of play it down the channel, or Young would play it down the channel, and Harrison was far more involved at that point. But I just think, like you say about McNeil, he likes the fact that he's back and he's got a bit of speed, and he's got great feet. He has got great feet. I like the fact that he's
nothing like
another utility player.
Arteta a little bit. He's nothing like this player. He's nowhere near as good as Arteta, but Arteta was very comfortable on the ball. Arteta was the magician because he'd always shield it. Like if you're going to try and tackle Arteta, you'd have to foul him to get the ball. He's just so good at shielding the ball. And I think McNeil, you're comfortable with him shielding the ball, ain't you? But he doesn't lose the ball much, does he, McNeil? And
he's smart. He's smart, and he can. I mean, he can. It's a decent shot as well from outside the box, which is good because that's not always the case, is it? So,
did you think that Pickford dislocated his shoulder? Because I said to my partner, he's dislocated his shoulder.
That knocked me sick.
I know. I thought he dislocated his shoulder.
What a save as well. And I don't know about
what a shot as well. What a shot!
I don't know about other people's commentary that they were watching, but they hardly referred to it. I thought it was an amazing save because he didn't just get a hand on it; he pushed it sort of outwards as well, which was. But when he landed and his arm was kind of in that position, I thought he'd done something pretty bad. So.
Because the thing is, when you're saving the ball, I think Pickford, all he thought is, I like this because he's just caring about Everton. All he thought is, I'm going to stop that going in. But the landing, he didn't care about. I'll risk my body to save Everton. And Pickford he dived in the air and he didn't even think about the landing. But obviously, when he makes a save, he's got to come down. And he's not in a position to come down. So when he's come down, he's come down quite bad. And I was like, oh no. But it was a good, like you say, what people don't realise is so often you see fingertips and the ball still end up in the back of the net. When Pickford, he's not a big man, but when he gets his hands to the ball, he's got strong hands anti-ball. He always does enough to tip it away from the goal. That was quite, because he still had to get a lot of hand on that for a fingertip, didn't he? So it was a really good save from Pickford.
Well, he was right out the near post as well. So for him, he couldn't get it over the bar. So he has been able to sort of push it away. It wasn't just getting a hand and flicking it behind him because it might well have still gone in. So I know of all the days, one keeper on the bench.
We only got two. We normally have three. One time we put one on.
At least three.
David Moyes putting two on next. David Moyes won't risk that again. He will.
How is
he going to score against Newcastle if he's out, Paul? That's what I was thinking.
Well, that's it. I thought after his having a chat with Russ last night, I thought Asmir was going to get on.
Yeah, I thought Begovic was going to get on. But I was generally thinking, how's Pickford going to play up front against Newcastle if he's injured? Right, so people in the comments, we need you now. We need you, and we know you'll like this. Who was your man of the match? Who was your man of the match for the game? Paul, I'll ask you first. Who was your man of the match? It's always weird to give a man of the match sometimes, isn't it? Do you think there was a standout one today or not? I don't think there was a standout one today, was there? I think there's a few that was decent.
I
Not
thought
easy,
it
this
was
one.
first half. I thought it was a good defensive, up to a point, a good defensive performance. Anything from top of midfield after, and going forward was almost a nonsense. But so you could say one or two of the defenders. I think. I mean, yeah. I honestly don't know. There's maybe no. I thought Alcaraz was the best player in the first half. I mean, you know what? He's not out of the conversation.
No.
He's not out of the
Wake up,
conversation, is he?
wake up, man. Wake
He's
up.
not out of the conversation.
Mate. Do not fall into that fort again, mate. I tell you, we've been there. Paul's offering him a frigging 90k a week, 5-year contract, Mr.
I'm
Carlo
not.
Ancelotti.
I'm not
Don't
doing
be
all that.
falling for that trap.
However,
No, Mark Keane was.
look, they've got him on the front.
Right. Do people?
I would
up?
say Alcaraz, but I could be persuaded elsewhere. I really could.
Yeah, look, it's definitely not Michael Keane, people. Well, if you think Michael Keane, put it in the comments. But I'm thinking about the game now, and I'm thinking Mikalenko at fault for the goal. Pickford, good save, but he's off his line, so we probably shouldn't have been. So I can't really give it Pickford man of the match. Branthwaite I thought was fantastic, but I'm a little bit peed off. He didn't take that header off Mikalenko on the goal, so I can't give it Branthwaite. Ashley Young, he got done down that side a couple of times, but like Paul said, played decent. I do think he played well, so I can't give it Ashley Young. James Garner, I thought he's just not strong enough on the ball for me sometimes. I just want him to get stronger. So I'm not going to give it James Garner. Garner Gay, I could give it to this game because I thought Garner Gay was good again. You know, he's decent. He didn't do nothing wrong, really.
All right.
Yeah,
I just felt that he was standoffish first half. I just don't think
he wasn't. Yeah,
we pressured at all. So there's big gaps there. So that's why I wouldn't have gone
press.
for.
So I'm not giving it Garner Gay, but I'm saying he could be in with a mix.
Yeah.
Then you've got who played left. Harrison, no, I think he did a couple of miscontrols down the right hand side and a couple of cut-ins, crap corners, crossings a couple of times. So no to Jack Harrison. Alcaraz, he's with Garner Gay. I think he could get it, but he didn't score or anything. Do you know what I mean? And the assist wasn't completely intentional, so I can't give it Alcaraz. So Decore, no, definitely not giving him man of the match. I thought he was poor. Don't talk about your contracts; it will curse you. There was one time where Decore smashed the ball out the stadium when he tried to knock it forward, and I thought, don't be asking for a pay rise when you're doing that, mate. No, Decore. I'm giving it to Beto. You know, I think Beto is the only one that I could probably say, you know what? Well, yeah, you scored, you got your goal, you didn't get much service, you did what you could, you pushed your balls, but I don't think it's a man of the match where I'm saying, wow, you played incredible. I just think Beto was probably better than he had a better performance than the others.
Yeah, I mean, I think Doyley. Well, a lot of people, like you said, like you've just seen there, shout for Garner off Rod, and lots of Beto shouts. Doyley's probably the most accurate, to be honest, in that. You know, team performance. No one massively stood out above the rest, but you're just stopping me from pressing. You're just stopping me from pressing that one.
No, I can't believe you give it Keane and I'm giving it Beto. You know what I mean? Yeah, you've got a lot of time for Keane and not much time for Beto. Let's just say that, my friend.
No, I've had plenty of run-ins. I've had plenty of run-ins with Michael.
Yeah,
we've had words. I
can't believe you let him off. I can't believe you give him a contract.
But you know what? That's the extent. That should be the extent of his involvement. It should be a step into the breach and do the job that he did today. That he didn't do. Who was it? Whoever we played, and he came on when O'Brien should have gone into centre back instead.
The
You know,
moment you started wanting to be friends with Michael Keane, your screen started glitching. You was as slow as Michael Keane. Started making your stream go slow. Then you start hanging around with him, mate. It spreads. But no, he did play well. What have we got for the man of the matches in the comments? Then I said Beto, and then Garner probably have to.
Moyes. Eltel reckons Moyes for the substitutions. Yeah, most people have gone Beto. Scar, Eltel. Yeah, could have gone for Garner as well, but Shelley said Pickers. I understand why. That boy maybe alludes to Keane being it, but lots of other people saying Beto. So
yeah,
he's the unofficial man of the match from Toffee Bluecast. Bad looks of it.
Ole, 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 Beto, Beto, ole, 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 Beto, Beto. That is class. That is class. So we're coming to the end of the show now, people, and it's just made me realise that the next game is the last game at Goodison Park.
I know.
Oh my days! I didn't think about that. Like the next game is the last game at Goodison Park. That's the next game.
We do need to talk about this as well, and plans and everything else, and we'll talk off camera as well. However, I am interested in people's thoughts in the comments about that day, because there's so many of us that have not been fortunate enough to actually get a ticket.
Yeah.
However, there are many of us that do feel as though we should be there in some capacity on the actual day. So I just wondered what people's feelings were, because obviously the local authority advice is not to travel unless you have a ticket, which they would have said anyway. But it is quite an unusual one-off occasion. So I did wonder what people's thoughts were, really.
I think you should be allowed, I think they should have something outside the ground for people that didn't get tickets and something in the stadium as well. I know that's mad. That sounds really stupid. And some people that have got tickets will say, well, it's your fault for not having a season ticket. But at the end of the day, there's so many Everton fans all around the world and they want to be part of it. And I think if they had cameras, because it's going to be all over everywhere. They're going to, obviously, the social media, it's going to be everywhere. Sky Sports will be all over or whatever, because it's Goodison Park, a historic stadium coming to an end. But it would be nice if they had what's happening inside the stadium, what's happening outside the stadium as well. They do it on World Cups, like they take it over to different countries to see how they're reacting. And I think they should have had like a big screen outside the stadium or something like that. I really do think that they should have put.
Yeah.
Do you know where Julia's bar is, where she does the entertainment thing? I think there should be a big screen there where people can watch it there outside the stadium, the whole game as well, just to show how big Everton Football Club is. Because trust me, 38,000, Goodison Park full, whatever it is, 39, 40,000 is not the whole Everton fan base. It would be nice to try and show how big the fan base is ready for this new stadium. I think they should be inviting people all over.
I did find out a while. Well, I had a conversation with Julie about what are the plans, and the club hadn't sort of made any plans at that point. Or we also, we wondered about whether they would extend it, because there would be so many people. But obviously, then the sort of police shouts come on and everything like that. I mean, it's more than just the game as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it is going to be packed no matter what. It just would be anyway. Even if there wasn't, like an after-match thing. So for those people who don't know as well, according to the club, you'll have the game, 12 o'clock kickoff. The game will finish. They'll keep the concourse open. People can still have drinks and stuff like that. And then there'll be on-pitch entertainment and music or whatever. And there'll be past legends and players and stuff like that who are going to be there.
Have you actually heard what they're doing at half time?
At half time?
Yeah,
No,
I've seen it on TikTok. They're actually doing at half time. So on the last game of Goodison Park at half time, they've actually got Sean Dyche versus Sam Allardyce wrestling match in the ring. I don't know who's going to win that, to be fair. So that's the first thing that's going on. Then they've got a money in the bag, Arteta money.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
money in
it's
the
got to be somewhere.
Arteta money.
Is it like a treasure hunt? Oh,
After all this time, the Arteta money is going to be shown at the top of the ring, but people have got to try and get it right. So they've got
like an Arteta money match. Like a cage match. Yeah.
So they've got that going
like
on.
That.
Then after that, all this has been fitting at half time. So we've asked the Premier League for a half an hour extension. So then also, I didn't know this. This is all true, by the way, people. They've got a cage fight. So a cage is coming down at half time, Paul. There's a cage fight. Tony Bellew versus Mope.
Oh wow! I mean,
yeah. Tony Bellew.
I would pay a heavy box office price.
Yeah,
to
UFC.
see that happen. To be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, in all seriousness, I did wonder why why they couldn't show it outside, but I also understand logistics and all the boring stuff. But you just hope that
was a good idea.
You just hope that there would be,
a good idea, wasn't it?
Would be something. But we're a week away. It's just going to be. I think it's going to be as normal, but there's going to be more people there, and then people who got the ticket are going to go in and they'll see the hour or whatever afterwards. And that'll be it. People make a good old noise outside, and
Everton.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
I'm not even a local, but one thing I realised about Everton Football Club is that everything's done by the fans. I think everything's left to the fans, like the banners and all that. That was all done by our fans. Everything that's done different, our fans have to do. And I feel, just personally, could be wrong, that Everton don't work with us that much to make sure we could do the stuff we want to do sometimes. I feel like that's just how I feel. I honestly do believe Everton should have sorted this out a bit earlier, where they could have really maximised this last game at Goodison Park. It's going to be special, but I just feel that Everton Football Club could put themselves out to make it more special. Do you get where I'm coming from, Paul? They could they could have really planned so much for this last game of Goodison Park to show how good this football club is. Like the freaking crew could have got involved and said, "This fan base is the best fan base. Let's see." They could have sat down with the Fab. They could have sat down with the Fab and they should have done this months ago. They should have sat down with the Fab and said, "What do you think these fans would want?" The fans get in contact with the Fab, give them some ideas. The Fab work with the freaking group and stuff like that. And they say, "You fans voted that you want this, this, and this for the last season at Goodison Park. We've done our best and we're putting together this." That's just how I feel it should have been done. But I think they could have done more. Personally, it will be incredible, though.
Yeah,
it will be incredible.
I think everything they seem to have done has just been focused within the stadium. I would be surprised if there was anything extra in the fan zone other than maybe starting earlier, or maybe having particular people, ex-players or whatever, in the fan zone. But you are a bit stuck for space, so there's a shout for that. But yeah, everything that they seem to have organised has been localised to inside the ground. I mean, I can't see it happening. I'd love them to be able to open it up. Whether it be, it's not going to be at the end. There'll be a game, but at least to have the gates, at least to have the gates open at some point after the game for people to even just walk around the pitch or just anything. Well, because there's a finality, isn't there? And I know there's talk about the women and the under 21s. I mean, it's been said as well that they're not playing at Hague Avenue anymore. So there's more weight behind the argument that Goodison's still got to be used for Everton teams that aren't the first team. But it feels as though it's obviously a finality because most of us won't sort of go back to Goodison afterwards, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be a pitch. I just there, as I said, I hope if we go on the pitch, it don't affect us on a points deduction. I think there will be a pitch invasion, won't there? There will be one though, won't there, Paul?
Will there though? Because there's things going on afterwards. There might be after that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There might well be after that.
We don't know. That is the point that I'm making. I just think it's a little bit unorganised. The fact that a week before it, we generally don't know what's going to happen that much. Like you say, there's stuff at half time, a bit after the game, but I think every Everton fan should have known exactly what was happening, and they know that a lot of people can't get to this game because it's going to be full, and people are wanting to pay £1,000 to get to the game. They know they want to go, so they probably should have just done something for them as well, because you can't just leave them out. They support Everton as well.
Yeah,
it is.
I hate the kind of online ticket touts anyway about other things. You know, there's been other events that lots of people have wanted to go, but weren't willing to spend $2 frigging grand on a ticket for that event. You know, and even Goodison, as much as I love it. Well done, ladies. 1-1 today against Spurs. As much as I love Goodison, I can't justify spending, £1,000, £2,000 on a ticket. You know, it's just impossible for most people to be able to do that. So they're all there's a special place in hell for those people. But those people who do go make the absolute most of it, and everyone who does, go but doesn't have a ticket and is outside and everything else, I'll probably be there with you, to be honest. I will.
It's going to be a class one, right, people? That is the end of the show. I mean, we could go on for ages about this last game at Goodison Park, but we are doing a lot of shows on it. I think we've got some stuff like
we'll do a Goodison Memories thing.
We'll
do a Goodison Memories thing as well, won't we?
And we've got a couple of giveaways lined up as well. So we are on it, people. We have got TikTok. So if you do want to go over and follow on TikTok, I think we're on 700 followers on TikTok. Some good videos on there, to be fair. Loads of shorts coming on. If you can, like the shorts on Toffee Bluecast as well. We're on, how many subscribers are we on now? Like
6,090-ish, or nearly 90.
6,000.
Lovely little family. Lovely little family.
So we've got to keep pushing it. But you lot in the comments, we just want to say thank you so much. You've been amazing this season. But we've got some more games. So we've got more games. We're safe though. It feels good to be safe. To be safe and smash Fulham 3-1 really isn't that bad, people. That is the end of the show anyway. We'll be back. We will. We've got more shows, not even just like pre-matches and stuff like that. We've got more stuff coming up. Don't you worry. Finding the banner now. Did you really say you would sell Michael Keane, Paul?
Sell him?
Sign him. Did you really just? He's got the hypnotise on Michael Keane.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Just never know, do you? You might have been playing today because you just never know. Right, that is the end of the show, people. Everton have won 3-1. It's sunny. It's a good day. We're going to be happy all weekend now. Up the top is we are the famous EFC.